Coming up on DHN.
ASL 1 to 10 stories have been posted all over social media. We'll show you how to find them all in one spot.
And one woman jumps into the novice amateur division for horseback riding. Find out how she got there.
And later, we sat down with the family that inspired this comic book to be written in ASL.
DHN starts now.
Thanks for tuning in for this special edition of DHN.
Today's show will be focused on the deaf community and everything in it.
This week is Deaf Awareness Week, and we want to show you all the amazing things going on in our community.
We'll be focusing on ASL preservation,
deaf culture,
and the accomplishments of deaf people.
But first, let's take a look at how DHN is supporting deaf awareness. Earlier today, I sat down with my co-CEO, Peyton Galovich, to discuss why she started DHN. She is a junior here at Arizona State University, where we produce DHN every 2 weeks. Most parents of deaf kids don't learn ASL, and that, Peyton says, is where the idea for DHN was born.
I thought it must be hard to communicate with their parents. Plus, news must be even harder for deaf kids to access. I figured there had to be some way to meld signing and journalism.
Peyton recognized that live news has a lag in captions and rarely shares news with a deaf perspective. She wanted to fix this problem, but still include everyone.
I really feel that it shouldn't matter if you're deaf or hearing. You should still be able to access information about your community.
We provide voices and captions in all of our newscasts, so families with parents who may not sign can watch the news together and start a conversation.
We want hearing parents to hopefully feel inspired to learn ASL and have better communication with their kids. Plus, we really want them to see that all of our anchors are deaf. Stop thinking of their kids as incapable and see all of the good role models we are providing.
As a team, we all volunteer our time and efforts to make this show possible. We hope that within the next year, we will be able to establish ourselves as a full-fledged business and produce daily broadcasts. Don't you think that was a good explanation of DHN's mission?
Yeah, it was really cool seeing Peyton in front of the camera, not just behind it.
I know, right?
ASL preservation is not only important for language, but deaf culture. One nonprofit in particular stands out.
Many people out there can get books about ASL in English, but not in sign language. So ASL Eyes' goal is really to give open access, free open access.
Jenny Whitborg is a board member for ASL Eyes and the mastermind behind ASL Eyes' newest collection, ASL 1 to 10 stories. We decide not to voice these videos so you can enjoy them for what they are without the meaning getting lost in translation. These stories are simple in structure but complex in meaning. They take the numbers 1 to 10 in sign language and use them to tell a story. Some are funny, and others more serious. Jenny said she decided to collect the videos because they got buried on social media, but the stories were so rich with ASL culture that they needed to be preserved.
So anyone can look up the videos and they all just show up, and that way you can watch them and really enjoy.
The ability to keep ASL visual rather than written has been priceless. Jenny said viral sensations like the 1 to 10 stories are vital to ASL.
People can watch them and learn and just really influence each other and force people to think. And that's where our language and our culture truly begins to blossom and become strong.
DHN could not pass up this amazing opportunity to help preserve ASL. Our reporter Rhonda Makawichuk prepared one of her own.
If you want to see my story and all the others like it, go to ASL Eyes videos on YouTube.
Now let's sign with ASL Eyes.
Hi, I'm Elsie Stecker. I work with ASL Eyes. Commotion. Recently, a famous actor died. Wow, the news is all over. A huge commotion. More police are shooting people in incidents. Many people are complaining and making a huge commotion.
Have you heard about this new comic book?
No, what is it? What is that?
It's written in ASL.
Really? In ASL? Cool.
This is Hawkeye number 19, and it was just released this summer. DHN was lucky enough to sit down with the inspiration behind this comic book.
We're like, reading, but the first page said, I was excited. I got a credit. Yeah, I didn't know that would even happen. And then it said for Leah. And we looked at each other and we're like, she goes, is that me?
Does he mean me?
Does he mean me?
Matt Fraction, the author of the book, met Rebecca and Leah Coleman on video years ago.
It's signing time with Alex and Leah.
After Leah was born deaf, her mom decided to start an award-winning TV show and DVD collection called Signing Time.
God, how can we help people who know Leah at least learn a little bit of sign language? That was the idea.
Fraction and his family watched Signing Time, and after learning that Hawkeye was originally written to lose his hearing, he decided to write it in again.
Then, last year, he contacted me again and said, it's going to happen. I can ride back in.
Leah says it was very flattering to have the comic book dedicated to her and to see a superhero she could relate with.
It was so cool to think that this could be a superhero that's deaf, because superheroes are all about being perfect, but now having a deaf one, that just really, it can make the deaf community really relate, makes me have someone else to relate to.
Wow, what a great story.
What an honor to have inspired something like this.
Yes, but Hawkeye isn't the only superhero who's deaf. There are others.
Of course.
Yes, well, the movie No Ordinary Hero stars John Moussier, who plays a deaf superhero on a TV show that inspires a young deaf boy.
Back when I was a little boy, I loved to watch cartoons with superheroes. Guys like Superman, Spider-Man, Robin and Batman, all the others. Growing up, I really admired them. About 15 years ago or so, I started to think, where are the deaf superheroes? But there weren't really any out there.
The movie was released this summer and has been getting international recognition.
We've just recently submitted the movie to the 3 film festivals that we attended. The first one was the Heartland Film Festival, and that was where we had our first previewing of the film in Indiana. The second festival was the Rome Film Festival in Georgia, and that one we even won an award. The Temecula Valley International Film Festival was our third showing, and we won an award there too.
With 90% of deaf children being born into hearing families, many people can relate to different aspects of the movie.
But you're deaf. That's so cool.
People can really watch the movie and find a connection to some of the things that they've experienced, like being the only deaf kid in a mainstream school, or being deaf and having hearing parents, and then going out into the world and experiencing a lot of hardships that come with the hearing world.
See where No Ordinary Hero is playing near you at superdeffy.com. People all around the country are actively calling for deaf children to be kindergarten ready and not fall behind because of lack of access to language. Reporter Tyler Birdie has more on this campaign.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. At least that's what backers of ASL for Deaf Kids are hoping. It's a new website that acts as a type of crowdsourcing for the Language Equality and Acquisition for Deaf Kids campaign called Lead K.
People are coming together and taking pictures of themselves in support. It allows for a good discussion to happen while they are doing something fun. The pictures are a way to capture our beautiful language, to put it in print with the English word and represent both languages.
The website launched during the ASL celebration at the capital of California. Julie Rems Samario is one of the leaders behind Lead K.
It's time to change, to go back. We need to implement a system at birth that teaches them English and ASL and sets up language benchmarks.
Many children are not entering kindergarten with the language skills they need to actively learn. Doctors often tell parents they have to pick between English and ASL rather than supporting both. The people behind the photo campaign attended the ASL celebration in Sacramento to release the photos.
Anyone who supported ASL came. It was a perfect time.
The photo campaign launched in California, but it hopes to set up other shoots in different states as they grow.
The book Not Fade Away was recently released and received a ton of publicity. The author, Rebecca Alexander, says she wrote the book so others could see the challenges she faced and hopefully establish a sense of community.
I have Usher's syndrome, type 3, and what that means is that I'm progressively losing both my vision and my hearing.
Rebecca was diagnosed at 19 and says living with the disease has been a humbling experience. The book talks about many of the challenges she faced growing up and after she discovered she had Usher's syndrome.
Technology has done a lot more than create portable gaming and cool phones. Much of today's advances allow deaf and hard of hearing people to gain access to things they may not have had before.
Now we have video phones. We can make calls by ourselves. We don't have to depend on others, and it really helps with privacy.
A counselor with the Phoenix Day School for the Deaf, Christy Abrams, says this kind of software gives her more independence. She says it also helps with communication for her students.
With some of the students, their families don't know sign language. It's really important for me to be able to call them if I want, so I can explain and tell them about what's going on.
Video relay services provide interpreters for different languages like Spanish. This allows communication to be easier for everyone. Christy says being able to see what options are out there is a major benefit for kids in deaf schools.
If they are in a deaf school, there's more of a chance that they will know about the different technology accessible to the deaf.
Now for a look at sports. Life is short and you never know what's going to happen, so it's really best to take your opportunities as they come.
Life is short, and that's why Kimberly Storm and her horse Bucky are making the trip to Texas for a horseback riding championship event.
We have had a really good year. We won first and second places.
Kimberly has been riding since she was a little girl. She says it's been a lot of hard work to get to her level, but she's enjoyed every minute of it.
When I was younger, a little girl, a lot of people didn't think that I could ride horses because I'm deaf. However, I just practiced a lot.
Kimberly has had Bucky since he was a foal. He's now 9 years old. The duo will compete in the novice amateur division of the Neutrina USEA American Eventing Championships this week. They haven't placed lower than the top 10 in this division all year. While Kimberly does have to do things a bit different because she's deaf, she says she's never let it stop her.
Well, okay, so I do have to do more work because I'm deaf. I, have to pay attention to my coaches and my teachers more and make sure that communication is clear. And I do have to make sure that I pay attention to the time extra carefully.
Hey, you know the Super Deafy movie? I really want to go see it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, you've already seen? Was it good?
Yes, very good.
Lucky.
I enjoyed it.
Lucky you.
I hope we can watch it in Phoenix.
Yeah, I hope it comes here too. I hope it's soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Make sure you check back in next week for another episode of DHN. We had to change our air dates because of studio space.
We hope you enjoyed our stories on the deaf community.
Thanks for watching.